There are things hard money lenders won't tell you, because if they did, you'd ask a lot more questions. And I know this because I've worked with hundreds of real estate investors, and a lot of investors simply don't understand the power they have inside of these hard money loan transactions. So the biggest problem is borrowers simply don't know what they don't know. They don't understand the levers that they can potentially pull to improve the terms that they're getting from the hard money lender to better match the terms of their loan with the actual investment, right? That's the goal here. It's not to be automatically going to a bank or going to a hard money lender, because not every deal fits a hard money lender profile. And you don't understand the other factors that can help determine the cost of the deal, the flexibility in terms of construction, the amount of time that you're going to be into the project for, and all of these other factors that can ultimately make way more sense in terms of the deal structure than focusing on just the interest rate. The other factors that a lender is considering when they're presenting the terms they're offering, and how those other factors with regards to the terms you're being issued is empowering to the borrower, and it gives them the ability to negotiate terms that match their investment. Just simply accepting the terms that the hard money lender is offering you. Here are the 5 secrets hard money lenders don't tell you. Your experience matters. Lenders will price and size loans off your experience. Lenders like us will look at experience 2 different ways. We're going to look at it on title. A lender will verify your experience. The more you can do to show on record experience, the better your terms are going to be. One borrower's rate is versus the other based purely on experience. So if you're a builder and let's say you've built 5 or more houses in the last 3 years, you might be able to get up to 70% of the land funded by us plus 100% of construction. Whereas somebody with 1 or 2 builds under their belt in the last 3 years might only qualify for 60% of the land plus 100% of construction. And ultimately that is the most important part for a lot of borrowers, is lenders like us reward experience. The more experience you have, the less risk we feel we have, and therefore you get better terms as a borrower. So be forthcoming with how much on-title experience you have. The draw process is designed to protect the lender first and foremost. When approaching a hard money lender, is what is your draw process? How much paperwork is there involved? Are you doing title date downs? Are you using invoices to support how much you'll advance towards the work that you've completed? All of these questions are absolutely critical for a borrower to understand. A really bad draw process can extend out your investment hold time frame and ultimately reduce your profit. How fast, Mr. Lender, do you get through draws? Are you doing draws virtually like we are for lien waivers? There are so many factors that can go into it, and every lender is a little different. They might use different softwares, and all of these factors should weigh into your decision as to which lender you pick. And in most shops are $200 max. I've seen draws cost $350 to $500. That can be because there are more units. It's critical for the borrower to understand exactly, again, what that process is, because your goal is to get your money as fast as possible and to keep your project moving, which needs a certain amount of liquidity. Understand that. So we want you to keep the project moving. We want to fund as fast as possible, but what we're going to be focused on, we're lending against increased value. So every time we advance a construction draw, the work has been completed, therefore adding value to the property. And every single time we're advancing, lending against the property, it's because you added value. Understand the borrower's requirements. Make sure you understand the process, the time frame. And when you're shopping for hard money lenders, you definitely want to be doing your due diligence to understand what the total cost of borrowing is. And then sometimes that's tangible in terms of interest rate and points, and other times it's intangible with regards to a draw process that extends the time frame and ultimately could really impact your ability to sell the property or lease it up in time. Relationships matter far more than rates in this hard money business. The primary reason is for speed and certainty to close. A lot of the transactions that we work on are coming with closing time frames of 2 weeks, 3 weeks, sometimes days. And to be working with a lender who you have 100% confidence in getting to a closing can matter far more than rate. Not many lenders will tell you this, but I've personally lost deals to borrowers who are shopping me that have a private money lender that they've worked with for a couple of years that have funded the first 3 or 4 deals with them where their rates are 14, 15%. 2 points, 3 points. They're turning away a rate of 9.5% with me, 1 point, simply because they know that lender, they're comfortable with that lender, and they don't feel there's a risk of not closing in time. Ultimately, the benefit of working longer term with a lender like myself that has access to cheaper capital, that is really the next step for the borrowers that are kind of borrowing from local private money to grow and scale their business with lower rates, with that same feeling of and confidence of being able to close on time, doing it within a program that has access to cheaper capital. The borrowers that fall into the trap of that relationship at times can really do themselves a disservice on a profitability standpoint, because they're not giving themselves credit in their ability to approach a lender like myself and make that next step. In turn, what they're paying is equity-like returns for debt. You might get higher leverage from a private money guy, the speed to close within days, but don't think for 1 second that you're not paying for it. Hard money lenders care more about the exit strategy than they do a borrower's credit score. And why is that? Well, we're oftentimes lending 85 to 90% of the purchase price, which doesn't leave a lot of room for error. So we want to make sure that the borrower can execute. If you're a flipper, we want to see that you can renovate the properties. If you're a builder, we want to see that you can build it. We're going to look at your experience on title or on record to make sure that you qualify, and we're going to reward that experience, right? We really only want to see that you have a minimum credit score based on your experience. 660 if you're a pro. We only ask for you to have a minimum credit score simply so that you have an alternative exit strategy to come to loan maturity and be forced to sell. We want you to have the ability to refinance us out as an alternative exit. Most hard money lenders want to make sure that you have skin in the game, and some won't even do a refinance because of that. They literally will only do purchase financing because they want to say, you have this much in a down payment, we're going to fund the other 80, 85%, and then all of construction. But that borrower is putting that much in at close, they have something to lose. When you come to a lender in a situation where you are midway through a project, the construction is over budget, and you're looking for another lender to step in, it might be difficult for you to get that loan because lenders look at that oftentimes as a bailout loan. So in that situation in particular, show the lender how you funded the overruns for construction and how the other lender did not, and that additional cash in the deal is more skin in the game. Fund the balance to complete. But that is a way of understanding, again, what the lender's looking for, which is skin in the game, understanding that as a borrower, and then positioning yourself to mitigate their concerns up front. And it's not always that it's direct dollars invested. You could be looking for a quick loan on $1 million property, and you might be looking for a loan of, say, $400,000 or $500,000. Well, the lender knows logically that you have $500,000 of equity to lose. So even if the value of the property declines 20, 25%, there's still so much room. We're going to make that loan, and it's a refi, and it's a cash out, whatever it may be. Cash, skin in the game, you have real equity that is at risk. If the lender doesn't get paid, they know they can foreclose and capture that equity and ultimately pay themselves off. So, skin in the game is looked at a couple different ways, but as a borrower, you need to understand that that's a focus of hard money lenders, and you need to be prepared to identify where your skin is and make sure you mitigate any concerns that the hard money lender might have. The key now is to take this information, these secrets, and to use them to your advantage and to prepare yourself for the call that you're going to have with the next hard money lender. What you need to know to be able to ask the right questions and ultimately get the best terms out of that lender so that you can compare and contrast. Now, if you're a new investor and you're going and approaching this conversation, at least you're prepared to mitigate any of the concern. When I'm asking you, okay, well, what's your experience? You're going to say, well, I'm a real estate investor, but I haven't been on title. You can start the relationship off on the right foot. The lender's able to now bring more transparency to different parts of the process to get you comfortable. But ultimately, having the ability to understand these secrets, knowing that a lender is going to be looking for skin in the game. What is that amount is your job to find out, but that might be determined by your experience. All these different things are going to play in to how the conversations go. To be prepared with the information. What's your experience? What's your credit score? How much liquidity do you have? What's the purchase price? What's the renovation budget? And what's the after repair value? All of these things are going to factor in. I'm going to be able to provide you with a quick quote in like 30 seconds if I have that information. It's something for you to know and be prepared with so you can keep these conversations flowing, get what you need, and ultimately have an apples to apples comparison between hard money lender A and hard money lender B. Hard money lending isn't in the dark shadows of the banking industry like it once was. It's very much a transparent, viable lending source for investors that I've seen scale from $0 to $100 million. It's about investors learning the rules of the game and using it to their advantage to scale their business. And it's not always the borrowers that are less creditworthy. It's the borrowers who understand the game and they know how to play it well. If you want to learn more about hard money lending, how hard money lenders think, how to approach a loan officer for a hard money loan, please subscribe. I'm going to be putting out a lot of content. All of it relates in some way, shape, or form to the hard money lending space. My name is Mike Chadwick. I've been in this space for over a decade. I've done countless loans. I've watched borrowers go from $0 to $100 million in assets, and I'd love to share my experiences with you on this channel. Thanks for watching. As always, if you have any comments, questions, please don't be shy. I'm here, and I look forward to helping, and thanks for watching.